Breaking news! There are a lot of morons in left-wing media. Amazing. Now, the right-wing media is far worse, and I think that they're not so much morons as they are intentionally deceiving their audiences, but that's a whole nother can of worms. In this video, we're going to talk about the left-wing morons talking about Maria, whatever her name is, from Fox News, talking about how she's outraged at the ICE killing. I think the two people I saw talking about this is Brian Tyler Cohen, Mr. Democrat himself, and then I think it was Adam Mockler, both making videos that things were so bad that even Maria was outraged. Maria is not outraged about the shooting of this person, just like how she wasn't outraged about the shooting of the woman that was shot, right? Just like how she wasn't outraged at the thousands of people killed because of the Doge fiasco. Remember that? These people, who I call the parasite class, this is the anything for views, especially in independent media, but it's kind of a similar thing in mainstream media. Anything for views. These people, our lives are nothing more than content. They're perfectly content dividing this nation, feeding out this anti-liberal content, pretending that it's conservative content when it's not conservative, it's anti-liberal. That's their focus, is how crazy the left is and crazy the liberals are, and going against anything the liberals do. Even if it makes sense or it's right or wrong, doesn't matter. It's just the liberals are doing it, so it must be wrong, right? Liberals bad, conservatives good. That is essentially the message, right? These absolute savages do not care about you and I. You could be the next one killed by ICE. Maybe you weren't even at a protest. Maybe you were just trying to get home from work. Maybe you weren't even trying to go to a protest. Maybe you support everything that ICE has been doing, right? Maybe you think this is good, cleaning up our streets and getting these immigrants out. Maybe that's your perspective, but you just so happen to be driving down a street where ICE just so happened to be in operation, and they mistake you from one of those hysterical liberals, right? And you, although you talk about telling other people to comply, you realizing you're an American citizen and you have rights, and also recognizing that I'm not part of this mess. I'm not part of the liberals. I support what you guys do, right? So you might challenge some of the unconstitutional stuff that they might ask you to do, right? Next thing you know, you end up shot or killed or who knows what else, right? And then the very next day, you're going to see Maria, Bartiromo, and all the other usual suspects get online and say, you were a domestic terrorist or whatever, right? They do not care. They do not care. Let me explain what's happening. And it's amazing that I have to explain this to people like Brian Tyler Cohen, who does this for a living. He's got millions of subscribers. He's made so much money doing this, but yet doesn't know the most basic thing about how this stuff works. Same thing for Adam Mockler. Adam Mockler is younger, so give him a little bit of credit for that, being a little bit of naive just because of his age, right? But that's not an excuse, to be honest. He's a very smart kid, so he should know better than that. But anyway, this is how this works. This is how this works. So, you are a savage. All you care about is clicks and views. All you care about is pandering to your audience, right? You don't care about people getting killed. You don't care about the country getting divided. You don't care about, bogus wars and money being taken from the poor and given to the rich. People not having health care. You don't care about none of that. You just care about, ooh, this video I did yesterday got 1 million views. People seem to like it when I take that perspective. Let me do more of that, right? The consequences be damned, because it's all a game, right? So you go around and basically operate as state media Whatever the government says you agree with. Trump says we should go after Venezuela. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Trump says we should go and bomb Iran because Iran has nuclear weapons. Yeah, there's nuclear weapons. We got to stop it. We can't have them have nuclear weapons. They might bomb America. Trump says that tariffs are going to make America great again. It's going to bring in all this money. Yeah, that's very smart. And Trump is very, very smart. Trump said he's going to use this for negotiating tools. And yeah, that's right. Trump is being like a negotiator. He's putting out these tariffs and he's getting all these concessions and he's bringing in all this money to the economy. He's bringing jobs back to America, right? And no matter the negative consequences of all this stuff, right? You could have a major, loss in manufacturing, right? Hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs lost because of what Trump does, right? But what you do is you don't talk about it, or whatever the government spin is, you just repeat it. Like the government says, no, we're losing jobs now, but that's because a big revival is coming around. You're about to see, you got to crack a few eggs, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? You got to break things down to build them back up better than ever. You just wait and see. Let's let it play out. Let's see what it is, right? That's what they'll do. Right? No matter how many conservatives lose their jobs, how many conservatives lose health care, doesn't matter. None of it matters. Whatever the government spin on it is, oh no, this totally makes sense because whatever. Fox News, yes, this absolutely makes sense. Tim Pool, yes, this absolutely makes sense. Stephen Crowder, yes, this absolutely makes every single one of them jumping on board, right? They see everything. Not that they're not aware. They see Americans dying, Americans losing their jobs, lots of pain and suffering, the division of the country, violence. None of it matters. It's what's getting the views. But here's the thing. You can only go so far with this. You can go very, very far because our nation is very, very divided. And especially the right wing has been completely captured by the propaganda that, is feeding them things. So things can go very, very bad. And it's very easy for, liberal hive mind and all the propagandists to go out and spin things. However, every once in a while, something happens that is basically sort of pushing things just a little bit too far. In terms of not, okay, this is kind of extreme. No, in terms of, again, it's all about the views, right? If you have a guy being shot in a manner that this guy was being shot by ICE, the amount of bullets, you see him just sort of recording video on his phone or videotaping if you're 100 years old. So he's recording video on his phone and this woman gets pushed over and he comes to a rescue. Ooh, he's being like a gentleman. Like a lot of this stuff is like, this is the kind of stuff my audience kind of likes, And then he's like, I believe he's a veteran, or at least he works at the VA. I mean, it's just too much stuff that, the percentage of your audience that's going to be a little bit sympathetic to this guy, and he's a legal gun owner. Like, think about how many Second Amendment people are watching this, right? And it's in plain, like you can see the video, you can see what happened, right? This is not a good look, right? I don't want to end up getting attacked by the people I've been pandering to because this is something that's so obvious that it's going to be extremely difficult for me to spin it. So now I need to act like, what's happening here? But the guy is a legal gun owner and there's no video of him shooting at anyone. Where's the video of him shooting at anyone? I don't understand what's happening here. What are you going to do about it? And the thing about it is, even in the videos that morons like Brian Charlie Cohen and Adam Mockle, even the videos that they show of like the interview, you can see her still spinning, right? She's kind of, she's uncomfortable and she's kind of like, trying to, this and that. Like she doesn't come straight out and like savage, like, listen, this is wrong. This is unacceptable. This guy had to do, like, she's not doing that, right? She's doing just enough that the part of our audience that are truly Second Amendment people, the part of our audience that will be sentimental to a guy, VA, and like the image, like a nurse, the part of the audience that's going to be conflicted just enough that they can feel like, no, don't believe those liberals that I'm watching propaganda. They're watching propaganda. Look at this. Maria is she's going against the administration. She's telling it like it is. So all the other times when she's been saying all that stuff, she's been saying it because it's the truth, right? We're on the right side of things. We're on the right side of history. It's the liberals, the crazy liberals, right? Here she is being objective, right? It's just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. These same left-wing morons look at her and like, oh, Trump went too far. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene, like she's realizing the truth about Trump. This woman says to us, people say, you've changed. She literally said, I have not changed. I am the same Marjorie Taylor Greene that I've always been. And I think she's even still saying about how she likes Trump and Trump's a great guy and she doesn't regret her vote, right? At the same, one breath she's saying, this is bad and Epstein, whatever. She still likes the guy. Rand Paul attacking Trump. Oh, Trump this and that and this is unconstitutional, whatever. Oh, but I like the guy. I really like the guy. Yeah, I've known him for many years. I like the guy. Fucking Adam Mockler and Brian Tyler Cohen. Left-wing morons. And you wonder why Trump is president. You want to focus on what the right is doing? Rightfully so, they're doing some really bad things. They're supporting some really bad things. But you are the opposition? You who think Maria Bartiromo cares about some random guy getting killed? This woman has been around for so long, we've seen how she operates. And if you're in political media and you don't get it, and how come I don't see videos of you guys calling out who caused this all? Now, obviously, Trump, ICE, whatever. But how come I don't see people talking much about Nick Shirley, the one who has blood on his hands? Why are ICE all over the place in Minnesota? Why are they there? Why are they there? Why are they sending thousands and thousands of Border Patrol people to this area? Are there a lot of immigrants there? There's lots of places that have a lot more immigrants. Why all this focus? It's because that lying, just savage, psychotic, lunatic Nick Shirley wants to go viral, and he works hand in hand with the government. As a state media person, he works hand in hand with the government. This was not something he did. This is not independent media just, doing the stuff that mainstream media. No, this is the Republican Party. Instead of going after the fraud, working on YouTube content. Hey, YouTuber, I've got something that you can make a video about and go viral. And we're going to give you all this inside information and blah, 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 blah. And we want you to go after walls. And we want you to show all of these immigrants what they're doing with these daycare center, the Leering Center, Leering Center, right? This is a GOP operation, right? And they cloak it in this independent media facade. This guy makes a video, and this is a classic model. Anyone in political media, if you don't get this tactic by now, you're a moron, right? You take a kernel of truth, right? There was some fraud going on there, right? There were some concerning issues going on there. There's definitely some illegal immigrants there for sure, just like they are in all the other states, right? A kernel of truth. There's some concerning thing about some of those daycare centers. That's why they're being investigated, and some of them shut down already. Some of them still under investigation, about to be shut down because it was really happening, right? You take that, and then you go with that inch and you create a mile for the sake of content on your behalf. But on the government behalf, it's for the sake of partisan means, right? We want to go after this state because this is going to be good for us politically, right? Look at us shutting down the fraud and this and that and going after these illegal immigrants and cleaning up the streets and make America safe, right? So you take the inch of truth And then you go and you lie. You go to a daycare center after hours when it's closed and the sign on the door clearly says it's closed, and you pretend not to see the sign and play all kinds of games. And then you go around asking questions like, ooh, why are all these doors colored black and then the other ones are colored white? Is this some kind of a racial connotation? Or, you know what I mean? Like, hey, don't you find it strange that all of these kids in this daycare center, they all seem to be wearing these pink shirts? Is this like something like a LGBT, LMNOP, XYZ, right? You go and you ask a bunch of stupid bullshit questions. You play some dramatic music in the background. You make everything look like, oh, this looks suspicious. Oh, you notice that lady that she's standing in front of the building? It's almost like she's a lookout. Why do they have a lookout in front of this daycare center? Maybe it's because they're doing illegal things on the inside, right? You make a video like that for your moron audience to look and say, oh, look, fraud, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes the GOP acting like this is not their operation. Oh, we saw this video from Nick Shirley and he's showing all this fraud. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to surge all these agents and we're going to clean up the streets because the Democrats are pro-crime and we're anti-crime, and we're going to bring law and order to a state that says they don't want it. Right? They don't want us there, but we're going to go there anywhere. We're going to give these Americans the safety whether they want it or not. We're going to force it down their throats. Oh, we don't care how many citizens tell us to get the fuck out of their state. We're going to go there anyway. We are the government and we are going to do whatever the hell we want to do, whether the citizens want it or not. Right? And all the right-wing people watching right-wing media. Yeah, great, government. Crack those skulls, government. Knock down those doors. You know, and if you have to shoot people, I mean, it's unfortunate, but hey, man, if they just complied. And why would a guy bring a gun to a protest? You mean like all the right-wingers that go to protest with AR-15s clearly displayed? I mean, not even just a citizen that has a licensed firearm carrying it with them as they normally do. I mean, the whole point of the gun is to have it to protect yourself. No. We're talking about people who go to protest, right-wingers, and they specifically go there with their guns. Specifically, like the guns are there for the protest, right? I mean, they try to pretend like this guy had his gun for the protest because he was going to, maximum casualties, right? But from all the evidence, it seemed like he was just a legal gun owner, the kind of people that right-wingers pretend to care about, right? Second Amendment. That's what he was there for. But when the right-wingers do their protests, I remember during the election, supposed election fraud, whatever stuff, I saw them at Capitals with AR-15s, proudly displayed. And it's not just one guy, whatever. Like they all came armed up, right? They all came with their guns. That's okay because they're on our side. But when a liberal brings a gun and has it concealed, ooh, he effed around and he found out. He's a nurse? Fuck him. He's a liberal and he had a gun at a protest and he was probably going to kill people. So we don't care that he's dead. If he didn't go to the protest, he wouldn't be dead. Interesting. Right-wingers can go to a protest with AR-15s and they're fine. They get to express their Second Amendment right. Some liberal does it in a liberal area, and out-of-state conservatives operating on the behalf of the government shoot this guy dead because he had a gun. I remember seeing some of the initial videos that people made about this on the right wing and posts. And, people in the comments were saying things like, they just executed this guy, whatever. And then I would see comments saying, you morons, the guy had a gun. And there were other people saying, yes, he had a gun. And even the government, some people in the government, they point out, and this guy went to the protests and I think he said something like he approached the ICE officers with a gun. Now, if you're a moron or, you're just going based on what he says, it does sound kind of shady, right? Why are you rolling up on a cop with a gun? Right? But of course, if you look at the actual reality, He was just a guy legally carrying his gun, and he was at a protest, and he wasn't actually approaching ICE. But even if he was, I mean, so when you are concealed carrying, you're not ever to walk in the direction of a police officer. Now, we're not saying threatening them or yelling at them or nothing. I'm just saying at all. Because people simply saying, oh, he had a gun, and then saying, oh, he went up to, I don't know what the wording, but the way they worded it, you know, without context, it really sounded like he came up with them like he was going to kill him or something, right? But they literally didn't say that. They just said that he approached them. This guy came to approach ICE. I wish I remember what they said, but you guys can look it up. But the way they said it, it was just like, just simply stating that the guy had a gun was enough to like, there you go. He's a terrorist. Right. Maria Bartiromo is not upset that this guy got killed. She's not to the point where after everything she's seen, she's finally seen the light. She's finally getting, oh, this is too far. I can guarantee you she will continue to be supporting Trump. And the next person that gets killed like this, as long as the video doesn't make it so hard to spin, she will be spinning it. She will be spinning it. Whatever the government says, she will repeat, unless what the government says is at an extreme level of absurdity. And a lot of stuff they say is absurd, but even for her, there's a limit in terms of what she feels comfortable spinning to her viewers. And it's not a matter of really her personal values. It's a matter of the polls, right? When she looks and sees the support for something or the pushback, right? Obviously, she only cares about her audience. If she's seeing a lot of support for something or pushback for something, that's what she's going to base it on, right? So it doesn't matter how many people get killed by ICE. It doesn't matter how they get killed by ICE. What matters to Maria is, can I effectively spin it towards whatever the government narrative is and get away with it? She will do this up until the point that she feels that she can't pull this off. She is a businesswoman, right? Cares about her clicks and views. So her decisions are based on clicks and views. When it comes to a point that something looks so clearly bad that she don't think she can spin it, that's when, I don't know what's happening here, and what's the evidence on this? An American citizen? And if you're a left-wing media moron, you actually fall for it. You think MTG actually changed and Trump went too far, and even MTG sees how far. MTG doesn't give a fuck about you or me or this country. These savages only care about power and money, clicks and views, attention. That's what they care about, right? Anyway, this is a Debate Me channel. Debate Me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. America, the country that is filled with morons, the country that perhaps has the most appropriate president for a country with people that are just so dense. Is Trump the president we deserve? Idiocracy. Idiocracy.